Adopted. The items under consideration shall be discharged from committees. The points of order are waived. 5 minutes shall be controlled between the speaker and the minority leader for debate. And the previous question is hereby ordered.
This is FTN News. The House is currently in debate on a declaration of war. Oliver James tonight is currently on hold as we go to live coverage.
Res 5, establishing revised standing rules for the United States House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, can you clear the board?
Yes. Sorry about that. Thank you. Did any member of the majority wish to control the speaker's time in support of the resolution? And whoever's placing the podiums, can you please stop? Okay. The chair designates the honorable gentleman from Texas, Mr. Gabe Zilla, to control the speaker's time. The resolution before the House is now Res 5, establishing revised rules for the United States House of Representatives. The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes. The House will be in order. The Sergeant at Arms will remove Mr. Avoided Ghost from the floor.
Here you can see Oliver waiting patiently for the premiere of his brand new show, Oliver James Tonight. That's coming up right after this House session. I repeat, that's coming up right after the session of the United States House of Representatives. Keep here, FTN.
Gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Palpatine, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I yield my time to the gentleman, Mr. Vinnick.
Is the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Vinnick, the minority leader's designee in opposition to the resolution?
He is.
The gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Vinnick, is recognized for 5 minutes. The sergeant at arms will restore order on the floor. Okay. Gentleman yields.
Mr. Speaker,
Gentleman from Michigan.
I request that the chair order the United States Capitol Police to remove anyone who is not a representative of the House of Representatives.
The
floor of the House.
chair, the sergeant at arms is directed to remove by any force or means necessary all persons not members nor staff from the United States House of Representatives. Okay.
The minority will reserve the remainder of its time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Texas is recognized. You have 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. If you got nothing more, then you can yield it back. But okay. Gentleman yields. Gentleman from Michigan has 2 minutes and 36 seconds remaining.
Mr. Speaker, I will yield the remainder of my time to the House Minority Whip, Gato Gavira.
The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gaviera, is recognized for the balance of 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
By the following, I hereby solicit that this time be suspended due to the fact that I am currently almost choking in a lasagna.
What?
Give me a couple minutes. I almost choked. I need a couple minutes to recover.
Okay, I'm not pausing the clock, so I don't know what the deal is. I can't even understand what he's saying.
Okay. Okay, I see the times understood me. Mr. Speaker, I rise to, so my gentlemen, so my fellow congressmen do deny these rules, or that we accept them with an amended proposition to reduce the bureaucracy in the House of Representatives by annexing or uniting both the offices of Speaker pro tempore and Assistant Speaker to reduce the bureaucratic necessities that this House, or the problems that there may be in this House. As there has been precedent in this House that there has only served as Speaker pro tempore.
Is the amendment in writing?
I believe.
Is the amendment in writing?
Not at this time, Mr.
Hey, the amendment is out of order. The amendment is out of order as it is not in writing. Okay.
Alrighty.
Does anyone else seek recognition? Mr. Minority Leader, do you have anyone else that you'd like to yield time to?
We yield the remainder of our time.
Okay. Someone yields back. Question is on the resolution of HRS 5 establishing revised standing rules of the United States House of Representatives. All those in favor say aye. Question is on the on adoption of the resolution HRS 5 establishing revised standing rules for the United States House of Representatives. All those say aye. All those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The resolution is
Requesting a
adopted.
recorded vote.
A vote by the ayes and nays is requested. All those in favor of a recorded vote shall rise. A sufficient number having risen. A sufficient number having risen. A vote by the ayes and nays is ordered. Members will cast their votes by electronic device. This is a 1-minute vote. Okay. On this vote, the ayes are 6, the nays are 3, 2 are voting present, a majority having favor. The resolution is adopted, and the rules are also adopted. Clear. Can someone tell me if the board cleared? Go. The House will now consider HR 2. The House will be in order. Everyone shush. Okay. The clerk will report the title of HR 2.
To the House of Representatives, House Resolutions 2, DC Prosecution Authority Act of 2024. To you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Pursuant to the House's adoption of HRS 6, the Speaker and the Minority Leader will each control 5 minutes. All questions and points of order and amendments are waived. The Speaker designates. Let's see. Darkseid, do you want to do it? Okay, never mind. The Speaker designates the Honorable Gabe Zilla of the gentleman from Texas to control the Speaker.
We're going to cut away from the House floor, and we're going to take you to Oliver James, Unfiltered. Unfiltered will have the results of the session in a little bit, break them on air. We're going to take a quick break. This is FT. All right, you're watching FTN. Just 1 second. We'll be on with Oliver James tonight. Unfiltered.
Hello, and you're on FTN with me, Oliver James, with my new show, Oliver James Unfiltered. Joining me tonight for her first campaign interview, President T-Soup will be on FTN News live with me. And we have a panel of guests, including the Vice Presidential nominee, Stealthy Wealthy, the White House Press Secretary, Iggy, the DC Deputy Mayor, Connor, and of course, Gatto. I don't know how to say his last name. Who will be here? Garvia, who will be here? He's a senator who recently left the Pioneer Caucus. So tonight, America is going to war, says the President of the United States. Joining me now live over the Tinterwebs, we have Crystal Castle, Deputy Mayor of DC. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, wow.
And of course, I shall do that now. So how are you interpreting this war here? Do you think that this is the necessary steps to support our allies, or are you
I think it's
thinking?
necessary. It's
Mm.
called foreign policy. You need to assert what happens in the world.
Mm. Yes,
Love
great,
it.
great explanation, Crystal. And of course, we are supporting our friends in Israel. Now, later on, we're going to have a one-on-one interview with T Soups. In that interview, what could make you, whether your mind is with T Soups now or not, what could get you thinking, right, this is exactly what I want to hear. This is the person I'm now going to be considering voting.
We need someone strong because there's a lot of mess in the world and in America. We just need a strong person.
As always, riveting political analysis. Yes,
Very
so
strong.
President T-Soups will be joining us later on in the show. We are waiting for that House representatives to finish, pack up, and get out of our event stage. So sorry, I was texting somebody. So yes, Oliver James Unfiltered, brand new show. How bloody exciting! We of course have Crystal Castles here with us over Zoom, who's providing the political analysis we need. A huge shout out I hear goes to my husband, Jonathan, who is currently listening to Oliver James Unfiltered, of course. As you can tell, we actually have huge ratings over here. We have a grand total of 4 people watching.
Hi, John.
We have 4 people watching, Crystal. We're pretty damn famous.
Wow, we are famous.
Yes.
We ate that up.
So yes, President T-Soups will be joining us soon. We are just waiting for the House of Representatives stage to finish. They are stealing our time right now. We did pre-book this event for 36 minutes ago, but the House Speaker does not have much grace and decorum. I do love him though.
They don't have a concept of time. They're just working on it. As I said, we need someone strong.
We need someone strong, of course, your riveting political opinion. So, yes, America is at war with the terrorists in Gaza. Do you think they're trying to recreate the real conflict?
I don't know about recreating the real exact conflict. I think, the real world isn't always great. Like, we have the opportunity to really make something great here. So it doesn't need to be as messy. It can just be fun and messy. So, yeah.
You need your own show, Crystal.
I do need my own show.
Your political takes are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And how are you feeling about the Apollo campaign?
It's cute.
Cuter than T-Suits, or?
I mean, I'm gonna say no. So far, I love brand. I love when people come in and say something. I just feel like if
They
you
aren't
aren't going to
saying
pick up the
anything.
microphone, then like is every single presidential event going to be you trying to type and then a hashtags?
Well, you know,
Like,
the funny thing about Apollo is what I don't get is he says he's busy all week. Well, actually, didn't he say, "Oh, I'm busy usually Monday to Saturday because I've got work in live," and then he said, "Oh, actually, I'm busy on Sunday because I go to church." So, like, when is he free? Is my question. I don't quite understand. Um, it's confusing
I'm
me.
sure when he has an interview, he'll say, and we'll all know, and we'll be able to choose who's strong. Yeah.
Oh God. Yes, yes, Crystal. Stop. I've actually got a headache and I'm laughing so hard that it's making it worse. Yes, so very confusing on Apollo. I mean, we were supposed to have his vice presidential nominee, but I don't know if he's going to turn up. Shall I? I shall I'll give him a message. Maybe we can
I
answer for him
think
now.
you should ask him to go on with you and perhaps find a third person, just someone out of the context, if you will, who can
What are
host
you?
it so he doesn't feel as like, oh, it's fake news. Because I think that's what you said the first time. So, like, maybe
Yeah,
find
Apollo.
someone who's like good with both,
Well,
a
you know,
neutral person.
Apollo loved me a couple of days ago. He was sending me selfies of him in a rainbow crop top. I bloody loved it. I
Oh
thought,
my
what a
god! Wow,
patriot.
this is unfiltered.
And I thought, you know what, bloody fantastic, what a patriot. And now I'm blocked. Now I'm blocked.
I don't think I'm blocked. Hold on. Let me see here.
Yes,
Hmm.
fantastic. Let's get that. We're going to have some information from the war vote coming up very, very shortly. Oh, there's a live protest going on, guys.
Where's the protest?
We we shall get images afterwards. The protest is not. We don't support free speech here. Um,
Girl. Oh wow, this is
you,
British.
what? How is
No,
that
I'm kidding.
British? F you.
If you.
Sorry, we're not allowed to swear. It's not past 9 p.m. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
this
a thing in
isn't the
America.
this isn't the late night show. This is like the
This is a
Christian
family show.
network.
Yeah, this is
So
this is the
yeah, this is a
Christian.
family show. This is a generational show.
So now we have images on the street on the screen of the protest. We're being
Oh.
called fake news. Mother what does MFW mean? MFW MFW when the host is late.
Rich, where the fuck they saying that? Oh, sorry.
We
Sorry.
apologize for the language. We
Sorry.
apologize for the language. Yeah, on screen now. Oh, I thought it was going to be anti-war. No, we have people protesting for war. We want a war. They scream with their lungs, with joy and glee. We want a war. They're screaming outside of the U.S. Sorry, inside of the U.S. Capitol. Mm. Lots of defense officials there. Fighter Half, the Secretary for Defense, who's known for having quite the potty mouth, isn't he? He, with his southern charm, tells people to F off quite a lot, which I always think is quite interesting. He got told off by Ukrainian just yesterday for being a sweary Mary. Uh, right. Yes, yes, they're voting on the war declaration right now. We're going to get you live coverage of that. Is that true, Jakers? Okay, we're going to skip to the House of Representatives for the war declaration, and we'll be right back. Thank you very much.
Is ordered. Okay, I'll give you the time, the XW. Hold on. Let's finish the vote first, and then I'll give you the time. Okay. All right. On this vote, the ayes are 9, the nays are 0. That objection, sorry, the ayes are 10, the nays are 0. The bill is passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is considered laid upon the table.
Mr. Speaker,
The gentleman from Michigan is recognized. Or for what purpose does the gentleman from Michigan seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, those who have been previously removed from the House chamber have re-entered along with the United States Capitol Police.
The Sergeant at Arms is directed to lead the Capitol Police to remove all persons not members of the House, nor the President or members of the media from the House floor. Final agenda of the night, and the one why I'm sure most of you are here for. HJ Res 1. The House will now consider House Joint Resolution 1. The clerk will report the title of the joint resolution.
To the House of Representatives, Judicial Resolution 1, proposed by Arthur Chen, authorization for use of military force. To Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Pursuant to the House's adoption of H-Res 6, the Speaker and Minority Leader shall each control 5 minutes. All amendments and points of order on the joint resolution are made, after which the House shall consider its adoption. The Sergeant at Arms will restore order on the floor and arrest and remove the senator who is protesting. Thank you. This is HJRS 1. The gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. VXWJ, is recognized to control the speaker's time and was recognized for 5 minutes. No, the USCP can stay on the floor. Oh my gosh. The Sergeant at Arms will remove the senator. Do any members of the majority wish to be yielded time by the majority leader? Mr. Majority Leader, are you yielding time to a member or back to the chair? Okay. All right. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Palpatine, pursuant to HRES 6, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield 1 minute of my time to the representative of Florida, Mr. Gato Gavira.
Gentleman from Florida is recognized for 1 minute.
Representatives, I rise today to ask you all to please vote no on this resolution. My reasoning is simple. At this time, we cannot throw our men, into the grinders of war. This, in my opinion, who I have served previously in other groups as Commander-in-Chief, in my humble opinion, I do believe that this declaration of war is misguided and it does not currently have, or we do not have the entire information. The United States should first send advisors, military advisors, to train the Israeli military before we set on another conflict, because we do not need another conflict. We need to train their armed forces to take those paramilitary or guerrillas down. We do not need another war, Mr. Speaker. We need peace, and if we were to go to war, we need to take those steps first. The president should send military advisors down to the Israeli military so they can be prepared. And if that fails, then the military should step in. Because in my opinion, I have not seen anything resembling any military advisors going to the Israeli military Ministry of Defense or the military. And that is a step that needs to be taken so American lives are not lost stupidly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The gentleman from Michigan is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, as we navigate these turbulent times, it is imperative we remain vigilant about the tactics employed by those in power. I cannot help but draw unsettling parallels between the actions of this administration and this president and the tactics used by the Third Reich. Throughout history, we have seen regimes leverage fear, propaganda, and persecution of political opponents to consolidate power. The systematic silencing of dissent, whether through intimidation, legal threats, or outright violence, should alarm us all. The recent execution of a United States senator by an ally nonetheless, who sought to silence the political enemy of the president, echoes chilling methods used by totalitarian regimes to eliminate opposition. Furthermore, this administration's attempts to manipulate the legal system to target and extradite political adversaries starkly resemble the tactics of authoritarian regimes that seek to undermine democratic processes. The targeting of a leading presidential candidate simply for opposing the current administration is a dangerous precedent that threatens the core of our democracy. We must also consider the role of propaganda in this administration's approach. The relentless messaging aimed at discrediting opponents and demonizing dissenting voices mirrors the proper.
The gentleman is reminded the gentleman
suppresses any form of resistance. We cannot afford to ignore these patterns. Duty to uphold justice. We must.
The gentleman is reminded of the House rules of decorum and conduct and not to engage in personalities against the president. The gentleman is recognized for 33 more seconds to finish his remarks. Okay. Looks like the gentleman has departed. So I did not remove. Hey, the sergeant at arms will order the representative from Missouri to sit down. Okay, the gentleman from New Jersey will also take his seat. God. Okay. Does the gentleman from Michigan wish to conclude his remarks?
Don't interrupt me next time.
The gentleman from Michigan is reminded to not engage in personalities against the president.
Mr. Speaker, it is an offense that we cannot speak on what the matter is before the House. This is a political event. This is a tactic used by the President of the United States to gain support in an election.
The gentleman will suspend. The gentleman will not engage in personalities against the chair or the president. The gentleman's
This
time has
president
expired.
is not a member of this House.
The sergeant-at-arms will direct the gentleman from Michigan to sit down. Good God. Okay. The gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. VXWJ, has 4 minutes remaining. Is the gentleman from New Jersey? How much time are you yielding to this Mr. Fighter Hat? The Secretary of Defense, the Honorable Fighter Hat, is recognized for 4 minutes. Yeah, hold on a second.
Hello, esteemed members of the House of Representatives. How are we doing?
The gentleman is reminded to direct his remarks to the chair.
Sorry. So, I'm coming up here because I'm hearing a lot of things thrown around. I want to clear the air a minute. This is not a war where we're throwing people in just for the sake of it, as was pointed out by the gentleman from Florida. USM wants this war. We fought hard to get it. We fought hard to get here. My wearing of this uniform up here tonight is no mistake. I wanted to show you guys I'm not just Secretary of Defense. I am a Reserve Gunnery Sergeant in our Marine Corps. These service stripes below my insignia indicate 8 years of service to NUSA. There has not been a war like this since ever, and we need this for activity. It's perfectly viable for criminals to have criminal activity in NUSA, yet for some reason when the military wants to have activity, it's seen as bad. War is good. War in Roblox is good. It's activity for our military, which, need I remind you, is a significant voting pool for you. It is a significant part of our government. We should be respecting our men and women in uniform and allowing them to go to war and do their duty to this country. Any of you who votes nay because you think this is about the real life conflict or for political reasons that you don't really understand because most of you are not in USM, I condemn you. And I would like to remind you that I am a Medal of Honor recipient. You see this medal around my neck. I'm one of 24. I've been here. I've been to war for NUSA before. This one we can win. We're already winning it. If you'll just let us win it, we'll win it. And secure victory for NUSA. Not for T-Soups, not for me, not for the Marine Corps.
The gentleman from Missouri will sit down. The sergeant-at-arms will present the mace to the gentleman from Missouri.
I'll answer that, though, if that's okay.
One second. Sorry, the gentleman will suspend. The sergeant-at-arms will detain the senator from Missouri to his chair.
Yeah, so there was no senator killed as far as I'm informed. However, I have seen a video of multiple senators and representatives on the terrorist Up 4 team at Erez Crossing shooting at USM. Now, personally, that's activity for us in free target practice, so I don't care. But you don't get to call us out when you're doing shit like that, respectfully.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you. God bless.
The chair reminds the House that upon unanimous consent, additional debate time given to the Speaker or his designee or the Minority Leader's designee may be entertained. Do any members wish to make such motion before proceeding on the previous question?
Motion, Mr. Speaker, to allow for more debate time.
How much time, Mr. Gentleman? How much time?
5 minutes each.
Is there objection? Without objection, the Speaker and his designee and the Minority Leader or his designee an objection is heard. An objection is heard.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to support the objection of the majority leader to be ignored as my motion was heard before his objection.
The motion was heard, but a member raised an objection. Therefore, it is not in the unanimous consent of this House that the debate shall continue. With that objection, the previous question is so ordered. The question before the House is now on adoption of
Mr. Speaker, I move to vote on Mr. Gavir's motion.
The gentleman from Florida did not have a sufficient second to his motion.
Mr. Speaker, I am making a motion.
For what purpose? For what is the gentleman from Michigan's motion?
Mr. Speaker, I am making a motion that the House extend debate by 3 minutes to each side.
Okay, hold on, VXW, 1 second. Okay, the gentleman from Michigan made a motion to extend debate by 3 minutes on each side. Is there a second to the gentleman from Michigan's motion? Okay, the gentleman from Florida seconds the motion. All those in favor of agreeing to the gentleman from Michigan's motion to extend debate time by 6 minutes, split evenly between the speaker and his designee, or the minority is his designee, will say aye. Those opposed to the motion to extend debate by 6 minutes divided evenly to those in favor and those against will say no. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The motion is not
Mr.
agreed
Speaker,
to.
record a vote.
A vote by the yeas and nays is requested. All those in favor of a recorded vote on the motion shall rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will cast their votes by electronic device. This is a 1-minute vote. Okay, on this vote, the ayes are 4, the nays are 7. The motion is not agreed to. The question before the House is now on adoption of the joint resolution. Yeah, we're voting out. All those in favor say aye. The gentleman from Missouri's, no, we're not doing that. Those opposed, the Sergeant at Arms will remove the Secretary of Defense. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The joint resolution is agreed to.
Mr. Speaker, for the purposes of allowing the clerk of the House to have an easier job, I move to request that this vote be electronically recorded.
A member has requested a vote by the yeas and nays. Those in favor of a recorded vote shall rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will cast their votes by electronic device.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to bring up that there has been a technical difficulty. Mr. Vinnick from Missouri cannot cast his vote as his current role in the Congress group is FECC staff, not representative.
the minority the gentleman from Missouri will designate his vote to the minority leader, who shall then make his vote known publicly to the House at the conclusion of the recorded vote. All right, members will make their vote by electronic device. This is a 1-minute vote.
I am unable to currently make my vote in game as my Wi-Fi has decided to cut out, but I would like it to be known that I am voting aye.
Mr. Speaker, the gentlelady is not currently present in the House. Therefore, a vote cannot be counted.
What is the gentleman from Missouri's vote, Mr. Minority Leader?
1 second. His vote is nay, sir.
Okay, the gentleman from Montana's vote is recorded as aye. On this vote, the ayes are 9, the nays are 1, 3 are voting as present. The joint resolution is passed. Pending acceptance by the United States Senate, the Secretary of Defense, and the President of the United States are hereby authorized to engage in acts of war against terrorist cells in the Middle East and against our ally, the State of Israel. All right, the House will be
hereby motion to adjourn.
Questions on the motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. My PC lagged, but I'm still here.
Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The motion. What other matters do we have?
What? But the agenda is clean.
Mr. Speaker, the vote has been already affirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no other items on the agenda, Mr. Speaker. There's no anything.
Yeah. No, we're doing that in after the session. That doesn't have to be done in open session. Okay. All right. There's no. All right. In the opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it. The motion to adjourn is adopted. The House shall stand adjourned, sine die.
Please do not delete the space, the stage. FTN News is going to use it.
Okay. Members of the military, it is my proud honor to give you a war that you have requested. God bless our troops. God bless the State of Israel. God bless the United States of America.
Okay. I believe this stage is now FTN's, I think, because they requested it.
Oh, man.
Right, check 1, 2, 3.
President T. Soups is going to be coming up here as well. Can you invite her up? Yeah. Is T. Soups in this thing? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, T. Soups. Oh, he's put himself as you. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic, John. I'll go to you. And it's confirmed. The United States of America is at war. We're going to be asking T-Soups, President T-Soups, who is right with me now, very, very shortly, on that and more. But first, we get the latest on the war from our correspondent, John of Doom. John of Doom, could you tell us what's happening?
Yes, good evening. Here's the latest headlines. The House of Representatives has voted to authorize military action in the Middle East by a vote of 9-1 to 3 after the Secretary of Defense and Air Force were attacked by insurgent forces. The Secretary of Defense pleaded with the House to pass the resolution, saying that the war effort would be good for activity. But House Minority Leader Sheev Palpatine said that the war was only being authorized for the president's political efforts, leading to a heated exchange between the Minority Leader and Speaker Arthur Chen. Members of the United States military were present at the session, yelling at the House to pass the resolution, jeering the minority who was urging nay votes, and cheering when the House passed the resolution. The resolution will now head to the Senate, and if approved, President T-Suits is expected to sign it into law. From Washington, I'm John of Doom, FTN News. Back to Oliver.
Thank you very much, John. And of course, we're joined by our panel of guests. Today, we have the vice presidential nominee for Apollo, which is Stealthy Wealthy. We have President T-Soups, who I'm going to be doing a one-on-one interview with shortly. We have Crystal Castle, the deputy mayor of DC, Gatto something, who's a senator who just, I believe he wanted to vote down the war. Also, an interesting topic that we have today is this, I've been tagged 11 times, is this war too close to the in real conflict? Some say yes, some say no. I say it's a game, give the president a break, but it's official, we are now at war. The Secretary of Defense would love to come up as well. Can we get the Secretary of Defense live over Zoom, please? That would be fantastic. He would love to speak. Fighter Half, can someone ask him to pop himself up? So yes, we'll be speaking with the Secretary of Defense just before we speak to the President. And of course, our panel of guests will be joining us now. I believe Shah is in here as well, which is absolutely fantastic. This is fantastic. Secretary of Defense joins me now live on FDN News. Secretary of Defense, how are you feeling?
I feel pretty good now that we got that war declaration out of the way. Hopefully it can pass the Senate.
And are you confident it shall pass? Oh, was it a joint resolution? Does that mean they're both? Don't know if I'm being dumb.
It was. I'm not really sure. I know
It
that
was joint.
everyone keeps saying it has to go through Senate.
Oh, I what?
Amazing, thank you. God bless.
Fantastic. Well, we'll skip through your interview very quickly in a second. T-Soups, go on, Hath.
Yeah. I hate that I had to get up in front of Congress like that, and I apologize if I came off as rude or a bit weird. I think people know by now I'm apolitical. I don't do what I do for T or for anybody in particular. I respect T as a leader and all, but what I do is for USM. Like I said, I've been here 8 years. I've fought in most of the wars we've had. So for me, this is my way before I'm gone to give back to these guys and give back to this group. So I've worked really hard this term to try to set up USM to last without me and without the old guard, as it were.
And Secretary, what do you say to people who are saying, this is insensitive, this is too close to the real war? What do you have to say to them?
I said something not so nice to them earlier, but I'll say, I'll be nice here. You know, it is close to the real war. There's also a Russian-Ukrainian war that's about to kick off, or so I keep hearing about in the UN.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks that it's like that, but that's where the activity in the international community is. I mean, and USM's job is to go to war. Do you want us to just sit there and do nothing and stagnate like we have for the past 3-4 years?
It's a good point. Yeah, definitely. I definitely think. I mean, how bored are they? They must be getting if they just can't do anything, and every time we want to go to war, you know, it gets shut down by people.
USM is complaining heavy about Congress. I mean, the Marine Corps can deploy regardless of congressional approval or not. They're allowed to. They're an expeditionary arm. They just need the president. But I want everyone involved in this because it's good for everybody. I really don't want to have to tell the Navy to go put on Marine uniforms so they can go to Israel. But if we have to do that, you know, we'll look at that then.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
whatever it takes to get people there to get out active, because that's what I care about at the end of the day. It's not about the politics for me. It's like the Apollo
Yes,
thing in Israel, not to bring that up and hatch out opinions on that, but I
it's
don't
all
really
your
care
question.
if it's true or not.
Yeah, yeah.
That's nothing to me. They didn't even know, the Israelis didn't even know he was a presidential candidate. So all this bogus about them trying to target and whatever and interfere in the election, that's not happening. I've been the one more than anybody else in this administration that's been talking and working with the Israelis. I'm the one that went and told them to cancel the extradition order on Apollo. So, you can make any argument you want, but at the end of the day,
Mm,
the truth is they didn't even know, and I didn't know they were doing it. I was asleep, and as soon as I saw it, I went and put a stop to it.
yeah.
I protect all American citizens, regardless if they like me or not. That's my duty. I know it can be a little rough around the edges, but I just want everyone to know that, regardless of how I feel about you or you feel about me, if you need anything, I read all my DMs. I check all my DMs. I'm always available. So
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Secretary. What we shall do now is, because the Senate are rushing to their feet to get this declaration passed, we will go straight to our President T Soups for our quick one-on-one chat. President T Soups, it's a delight to have you here on FTN News for your first campaign interview. How are you? How are you feeling the campaign's going? Hmm, very true. And yes, definitely. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's one prominent attack line, and you know what it is. It's what you did in, well, what Gobies did in Congress that one night. So, but then here's your chance. Here's your chance to clear it up. Here's your chance for the people who may genuinely feel a little bit uneasy about what you did that night. Maybe feel that that time was the time that they questioned whether they could vote for you again. What do you have to say to them people? Because there is a valid concern there. There is a valid concern that maybe you did illegally remove senators. So what do you have to say directly to them people?
I have discussed this a few separate times. I recall that night completely, and it was a super strange circumstance. If you don't remember, it was during the no GM interference week after we'd had that falling out previously. So there were no GMs to invalidate the illegal session that was going on. There was a coup of the government attempt, and
Mm.
Gobies took action per the 14th Amendment and removed them. I don't believe that any elected person should be removed of their seats. And it was a 3 a.m. judgment, and it's something that
Do you regret it?
I regret. I
Yeah.
regret. Although I was not the person to do that, I could have undone it, and I didn't. I had the perms in the group to undo it, and I didn't.
Are you
So
sorry
that's
for what
live
happened?
with. Sorry, what'd you say?
Are you sorry?
Yes, I'm sorry that I did not undo those actions.
And I think that might be a bit reassuring to people that they realize that you realize, you know what, we could have done that differently. We did a bit wrong there. I mean, I I remember my reaction when finding out it wasn't a troll was something like, "What on earth have you done?" Uh for sure. So we have Apollo, who is a man who doesn't. Look, I mean, I'll be fair to him. I'll try and be really fair to him. He only shows up when there's a presidential election. He did it last time. He'd done it the time before. He does it every time. He only wants to show up when there is an election. Now he admits that he has some time constraints. That he can't be busy. He can't be here all week because he's very busy with life. Now, do you think that Apollo understands how much time the presidency takes up? And in your experience, how long? How much do you have to be around?
Absolutely not. I don't think he understands at all what being president of NUSA is like. He's come around only during presidential election times, and he disappeared as a senator. He didn't even show up to the sessions. He didn't show up to his last session as senator. He didn't rerun. If you can't even take the time to rerun, I don't think you're prepared for the presidency. It truly is a time commitment, and I'm at a point in my life right now where, I'm taking a gap year, so I do have time to engage in such a hobby as NUSA presidency. And Apollo, I think he is a fine person, but I don't think he has the time commitment to presidency, and I don't think he totally understands what it requires.
Yeah, I mean, one of your biggest critics at the moment, Tactical Rock, says, well, when I was president, I didn't have to be on all the time. What do you have to say to that? He says it's bad time management, bad resource management.
I'm saying that Tactical Rock got elected with 60 votes. Back in 2020, I was elected as a House representative with 70 votes. Make it make sense. That was a time where NUSA was completely dead. Completely. He had to run again because nobody else was going to run. I think he got elected with even less votes the second time. To compare today's NUSA to Tactical Rock NUSA is just simply not true.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Crystal Castles saying to me, the DC Deputy Mayor, she said, there's a few presidents who just shouldn't even be on the list because they were there when nothing was happening. Which I thought was fairly true, actually. Well, obviously not actually remove them, but so to your biggest critics today, what do you say to them? What do you say to the people that are thinking, I don't think we need another 3 months or 6 months or whatever it's going to be of T-Soups. Let's try something new. Let's see where it gets us. What do you say to the voters that aren't quite there on either one?
Say to look at their policies and compare them to mine. And if you do look at their policies, they have no policies. So if you want a complacent NUSA that will make no progress for the next 4 or 6 months, then vote Apollo. If you want to continue this amazing cycle that we've had this term, let's continue it.
Fantastic stuff. And of course, you've had a lot of critics, of course. But what do you think your biggest achievement has been in your term?
Definitely say our foreign policy, hands down. We got into the most active, growing UN. Clearly, that's given us so much activity, as you can see tonight. And it just opened the door for everything. It opened the door for USM, for DOD, for IC, for DOS, for game activity. It's given us so much. And I would say that that's the backbone to a lot of our other successes. So in total, foreign policy has been our major hit this term.
And finally, communication in your administration it's not very strong. We see a lot from the Department of State. We always have. The fantastic, brilliant friend of mine, Casey Montague. She really did get in there with the communication. She was big on it. The current Secretary of State, not as strong, but he's still a strong contender for communication. Are the other departments just not doing anything, or are they simply just bad at communicating it?
Say that we've worked on communication a lot in the past months specifically. If you look at executive updates and White House channel, we've changed a lot of things. I'm having directors and cabinet post more, and we're trying to make it known what we're doing because we're doing so much every day. And it's true. I don't think that was totally shared at the beginning of the term.
Well, thank you very much for coming on FTN News for your first campaign interview. Just for transparency, we invited the Apollo campaign to come on as well and do an interview. Unfortunately, they called us fake news media and did not want to attend. I shall now move to my panel of guests. Is Stealthy Wealthy? Can someone move Gatto? Give whatever his name is. I can't say it. Gatto. Can someone move him up because he's on the panel? Is Stealthy Wealthy in here yet? Lil Fortnite or whatever he's called. I don't think he's in here yet. Can someone bother him? Okay, so I shall move to my panel of guests. I mean, we have more than expected. But I shall go to Gatto first. You've become a bit of T-Soups. How do you think she performed in that interview? Do you think you got the answers you needed?
Hello. First is Gaviria.
Gaviria.
Gaviria. Yes.
Gaviria.
Yes, I'm sorry. My phone died in the middle of the interview, so could you repeat the?
Oh, well, I think the biggest moment actually was when she apologized for what happened in Congress that one night. When the senators obviously illegally held that session, she said it could
Yeah.
have been dealt with better, and she's sorry for how it was dealt with. What's your take on that? You've been a critic.
I think it should have been done the week after, the day after, you know?
Mm-hmm. But
Sadly,
you know,
sadly,
she
it
still
should have been sooner. Yeah,
Yes, you think?
it should have been done sooner because, you know, even when the committee was in session, I quite remember asking um if the if she condoned the actions of the vice president. I believe it was. If not, please, Madam President, fact check me. And I remember it was a double down. You know, it said no, they are treasonous senators, whatever. And in
Yes,
the
yes.
recommendations, I outlined a way by which the procedure should have been done. Because as I have said, every single time procedure is violated, the Speaker of the House is here and he can agree with me that I have annoyed everyone on procedure. Procedure is the way by which democracy it speaks. If procedure is violated, people's rights are violated.
Fantastic. We shall keep an eye on
Yeah.
the Senate as well, and see if they pass that declaration. It's a bit more shakier with the Senate, you see, because there's a few more critics of Tea Soups in there. They're not too happy with her half the time. But you know, the House is also pretty critical of her, so we shall definitely see and keep an eye on that. Now I shall move to Iggy. Iggy, you are the White House press secretary, but you're here as just yourself. How do you think Tea Soups did?
An excellent job conveying her beliefs. Honestly, I love clear communication because that's something I feel like every administration has struggled with, even if she would like to answer it.
Hello.
So T, first of all, I'm glad to hear that your family is doing well. I spoke to the Apollo administration about them expressing their condolences to you for the hurricane and your family and the loss of power in your yesterday, that they have not expressed any condolences to you after they said they wanted to do it privately and on their own time. Let me see when that was. That was on. Fuck, what was it?
How many times I've been tagged, Christ?
That was 7 days ago that they said they'll do it on their own time. Have they still not expressed their condolences to you on tragic events that happen within your real life, despite knowing about them?
No, they've not.
Well,
Have they spoken to you about it at all?
No, they have not.
Well, that's all I had.
Crystal Castles is here, Deputy Mayor of DC. Are you there?
Yes, hi.
How did how did you think the president did?
I think Tea Soups did great. I love accountability, and when someone can go, you know what, in hindsight, maybe I should have done it more so this way. That's a great way to show that you can grow. So
Yes,
I thought that was great.
You've
That
got
was the
you've got to give them the
highlight.
opportunity to grow. I mean, I say to people all the time, if you know, no one is going to be a perfect president. I mean, let's just be completely clear about it. No one is going to be that good of a president because you've always got people shouting in you because they want your job, and on the other side, you just got people who just want to hate you for no reason, just to hate you. So it's impossible to perform incredibly well under that. So we're never going to get a perfect president. It's just not going to happen. But I do respect how T Stoops apologized for what happened in Congress at that time. I appreciate someone who can stand up and apologize for their actions, and she did. And you know, maybe this is part of moving on from that, because I mean, it is all the Apollo campaign bring up. I mean, it's kind of like the only thing they have against her, to be honest. But I would be interested in hearing more from the Apollo campaign about their thoughts. I mean, we did invite Stealthy Wealthy today. He said he would be here, but well, he's not. So I don't know where he is. So I mean, if anyone knows him, feel free to tell him to get on the stage. I would love to hear a view from the Apollo campaign. DM me if you are a big supporter of Apollo and you have complete reasons why, and I would love to know. I would actually love to know, and you can come up on the stage and you can
Oliver,
express that.
I have a.
Oh yeah, if we have a look at the
There's a fight.
Oh,
there seems
Oliver,
to be a scrap.
if you don't mind,
scrapping.
Oliver, can I finish my remarks?
Yes, Gato, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Oliver. As I've said, yeah, as I was saying, procedure is the way by which democracy manifests itself. If we violate the procedure, we're violating people's rights. Yeah, we're apologizing now, but it should have been done way quicker. Like, the president could have apologized earlier because it was notified that it was an action, a wrongly taken action, and the Constitution outlines a way by which to remove senators. I believe I pointed it out in the recommendations that I sent to the House. That the procedure was violated. I think the president has grown in accepting finally that the senators were legally removed, but it should have been done quicker, because the thing is, it apologized when it happened, when the topic was hot. You hit the iron when it's hot, not when it's cold because it's not going to take any shapes. Well, presumably. If you do something wrong, you apologize as soon as possible.
It's the Apollo campaign's biggest stick to bash her with. So, I think it was about time she spoke out on it. Semi Harlow, are you here? She's not.
Oliver, whenever you get one.
Yeah, sorry.
Gato, so I know you're a big supporter of Apollo. It's clearly. You seem to be very against tea soups. You mentioned that. I believe you said that NUSA does not want.
I do not support Apollo. I haven't endorsed him. I do not support him. And I do believe, as a man who has, this is going to sound cringe, but I've been a commander in chief as well. I've been in the shoes of the president. As Colombian head of state, I have sent countless men to, the Netherlands Antilles to fight guerrilla members and to Russia and whatever. And the thing I'm telling the president is this is a way to prevent any disaster or anything that may have go wrong. We need to allow them to fix their own problems. And if they can't fix their own problems, then we go in. Because that was the problem I had when I was the president of Colombia. I sent men to die because I didn't send advisors that would have been more productive. Their armies need to learn to fight the enemy because...
On a basic level, though, the US them are saying, please, can we just have a damn war? We're so bloody bored. We've got nothing to do. Just give us something to do. So why can't we just let them go over there? At the end of the day, it's NUSA. They need something to do. They're bloody bored, man. Let them have a bloody war. What did you say?
As the DoD press secretary, and I support. I speak for the press, for both the defense secretary and for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I say this. I say that unanimously, NUSM wants war. They have wanted war for months. Nice.
All right. Yes. Yeah, so the USM actually wants war. I mean, it's been said over and over and over and over again. They want bloody war. So why can't we let them have a damn war? Who gives a damn? Just let them go and shoot.
So Oliver,
continuing with
okay.
or what?
So
But
I can answer that question, Nasanova. So I speak for both the president as her press secretary, and I speak for both and for the defense secretary as his press secretary. And I will say this: neither side wanted this war until we were fired upon first. Our own president was wounded in
I
combat.
wanted it. I want that to be known.
Well,
I
then
wanted
maybe she
it.
shouldn't be fucking role playing in games.
Sorry.
And should be actually
please don't swear.
missionary.
It's a family show. This is a family show. Please don't swear.
The Christian show.
And also, I'd like to say that this too. Gato, you are trying to compare apples to oranges. You were in a group that probably pulled maybe, let me guess, 15 to 20 people during rallies for your military, and we are pulling countless numbers. We have large scale battles with air, land, and sea, and you are comparing being president of a significantly smaller country to being a member of the military here when you have never served in the military within NUSA ever. That's all I had. Thank you.
I'd like to say two things to the White House press secretary, Mr. Iggy. No, we were actually quite a big group. Colombia was the biggest Colombian roleplay group. At our peak, when I was president, we pulled. What?
I said that's kind of not that hard, is it? I don't even know that country exists.
Well, it's rather hard when you think, when you got a doctor who owns the competing group is stealing your assets.
Okay, sorry. I apologize for interrupting you. I'd like to correct myself. I apologize on behalf of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the defense secretary. They wanted war. The president did not. So please do not call it a political move, because it was not a political move at all.
I'm not calling it a political move.
No, I'm saying I got a DM from both SecDef and from the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs saying they both wanted war, and I said that they did not want war. So I was correcting myself.
Okay. So yeah, it was rather a big group.
I apologize for interrupting, but I believe the session is beginning. I believe they found a presiding officer.
Fantastic. Do you know whose view I'm interested in? Nastanova, what's your goddamn view?
I'll speak when I motion to debate on this.
Fantastic.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, we had a big military. We were pulling around 130 members of the military, and it was not a small military. We had Army, Air Force, National Police, and the Navy. It was quite a big force. We sent men to fight in.
Nobody cares about your role play group, Gatto.
Oh my god. Gatto is no longer up. Did he get moved down, or?
I think he left the stage.
No. He's waiting. He's waiting to be moved up.
Oh, he got it.
Someone is screen sharing in the.
Someone kicked me out. Damn, they kicked me out of the.
Yeah, they kicked me out too. All I was doing was doing news reports.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
Damn. We'll monitor the Senate session at the same time as speaking. We've got a war going on. And do you know what? If anyone else has a view, can you put your hand up in the Discord? We're more than happy to invite a few people up here and there.
We're also taking ad reads. DM me for all ads that you want read.
Also, for those of you in the audience, I just want to see something real quick. Gato, you said you've never served within the NUSA military. Could those of y'all in the audience that have raise your hand? That have served in the NUSA military at one time or another?
Not me. I can't shoot.
You see the amount of hands up? They all are more educated on this than you are, Gato. You're only educated as a politician, and respectfully, this is the time I've heard of you ever. And could you please elaborate on the specific numbers from Columbia Proof?
You
could forward those to my. You could forward those to my DMs, and I will post those in general.
Senator Nasanova is calling for the session to be held behind closed doors.
Closed doors.
Crystal Castles, what's your take?
No. Open doors. Open the doors.
I pledge allegiance to my gang. If I catch an op, I'll take his brains. And if I get caught, I'll say no names.
Oh, you said that.
Oh, John's in a new era right now.
Turned into a Chad. What is going on?
John is my Chad.
John is like the one person who sits impossible and he's so adorable.
Oliver,
Like, I would so like.
You
He's
should
just
have
so
seen me
adorable.
reading the news in real life.
Yes, I
days
heard it. I was delighted.
You were
Yes,
reading the
I was-
news in real life, John?
Yes, I was on
The radio?
local NPR station doing their new news. It was the best experience of my life. I laughed halfway through it.
Fantastic.
You are. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
The full
You're
thing will
gonna be like
revealed
Tucker
next
Carlson one
July.
day.
Also, if anybody here
kidding.
genuinely supports Apollo and wants to speak like in favor of Apollo on here, like please DM me.
Why do you bring his pee on?
Well, he's not in the stage, I don't think.
Is he? Is he here now?
Tag him?
I thought you
I
sounded
don't
like
think so.
Lord Ritos for a second.
I don't think he's
No.
here at the moment. But just
Apollo, or
just
not
I
Apollo.
can't read tags. Tags is too much. Don't tag me if you want to. Just DM me and then I'll ask someone to track you up.
Oliver, can I comment on the session we just hosted?
Sure.
I think many members may have noticed the spar that I had with House Minority Leader Chief Palpatine. I'm sure.
Neptune, that is too long to read. I'm sorry, you're asking me to read this statement. It's too long. Something about I voted 24 craft last election, not you, T-Soups. I do have concerns, but you are a commander-in-chief. I will trust your judgment with our troops. Basically says he trusts T-Soups with the troops. It's a bit too long.
He voted for 24 craft. Okay.
Wasn't that like a joke campaign? I thought that was a joke campaign.
Wasn't that like you don't want either of them?
I thought it was like just like a meme. I don't know.
Kinda.
Acid Raps is here. Acid Raps, what's your thoughts? Are you going to unmute and tell us?
He's presiding over the session right now, so.
Oh, he's presiding over the session. He's a bit busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
So yes. We may be going into war, guys. I'm not too sure. There has been nobody that has DM'd me to say they want to speak in favor of Apollo. There is literally nobody. Like, surely there's someone who supports Apollo.
Well, he's an unsupportable kind of person. I mean, he's literally running a troll campaign. Even he admits it, that he's not running a serious campaign and is asking the American people to trust him to take the government seriously. I mean,
I'd also like to, Arthur, I apologize for interrupting you.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I'd also like to add, I am completely apolitical. I probably will never run for Senate again or House. And as I was a 2-time senator, I think I've done my time. But with that being said, it's sad to see that one political opponent is making conditions to me. I tried to ask him when the last time he attended a Senate session was and what he did at the Senate. He responded by giving conditions to me and saying the White House will respond to such and such demand or such and such question, or I will not answer your questions. As a voter, that's extremely concerning.
I think for me, I mean, listen, I've said from the start, you know what, T-Suits has been a bit of a crappy president half the time. I'm not even gonna lie, but
oh my god,
I'm just saying, I love T-Suits, but I'm just saying, but Apollo, I mean, really, is it that hard of a choice? It's not really hard of a choice. I'm sorry, it isn't. I mean, I said if someone more inspiring this election, someone who really grabbed my attention, I would go for them. No one has. I'm sorry, Apollo. He's like an A4 sheet of paper. He's plain. He's got no policies. He's got nothing he can offer. And I just think to myself, okay, well, T-Soups has done a fair bit this term. I mean, let's be for real.
Oliver.
So then, what does Apollo have to offer? Because I can't name something. That's the issue. Like, if I could name something he's offering, if I could think of something he's actually going to give us, then
He
fair
doesn't
enough.
even have campaign policies out. He has not made a single policy.
It's a bit confusing, and I would love to understand Apollo's campaign more, but I just can't because there's nothing they I don't know as their messaging.
I love
of.
how committed he is to giving us nothing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm up for giving anyone a fair chance, but I just don't understand
Sorry,
what
I have
he
a minute.
does.
I won't shut up. I'm voice my opinion. Okay, I don't believe in this war. I believe this is a political war. If the USM wants to go to quote unquote war, you can keep getting the use of force authorized by Congress. You have a period of 60 days, which is 7.5 in-game days. You can get that extended as long as you want. I will not agree on a war as long as we're in this election cycle, because this is a political scheme to get her elected. She did this with Ridgeway, and she's trying to do this with Israel, and I will not stand it at all. The Senate will vote this, and the Senate will vote to fail this because we do not believe in harming the electoral integrity of our nation simply for political views and simply to put U.S. service members' lives at hand for your political view. Okay, thank you. I yield the floor. Let's vote and let's fail this. Fighter Hat, you can work with the representative.
The senator will cease. The senator will cease.
One last thing.
The senator
Fighter
will
Hat.
cease.
Oh,
Fighter Hat. You can
Senator
you can
Takis.
for Senator this
Senator
is
Takis. Senator Takis
but
is
we're not getting this.
recognized for a period of 1 minute.
right. Okay. Fucking hell. We're having a sorry for the language. We're having the whole news show here.
Taking over
Naz,
the news show.
No, you're not. Naz,
When
you
that's
that was a
supposed to come
tragic
up,
opinion.
I can't make out what anyone just said.
You can speak if you want to. Naz, that was a tragic opinion. I'm sorry.
I would like to, yes.
Of course, it's
yeah.
tragic.
May I approach the podium then?
Yes. Oh well, this is the news show, but it's also the live Senate session. We're like covering both at the same time. So, I mean, you can speak in here and there at the same time.
Benda 587.
Hello. I will be speaking in VC force, but I would like to give context, especially because this is sort of I went to Israel with the Secretary of Defense a few days ago, and we had no intention of going into any sort of battle. They had just invited us over there to show us their map and their tech, and once we got there, we were shot at, we were bombed, and I was thrown into battle. We then had to give aid to Israel after they were attacked by 3 different terrorist organizations, and you can see this all in the UN Criminal Organization feed. And let me just read out some of their quotes. After they assassinated our Secretary of the Air Force and repeatedly chanted death to America, they then sent out, as the Western dogs bark, they continue on barking until you treat them with what they desire. If it is bloodshed, they shall have it nonetheless. I think this video shows my point of view. Then they sent out on a separate day to USA. You've set your troops on the ground that you can only hold the ones who are rightfully living on it. The consequences will be severe. Missile by missile, bullet by bullet, you'll be wiped out. And you mean to tell me that there are people who are saying that we should back down?
Seeing as 1 minute elapsed, the president shall cease. Would anyone else like the floor?
I would.
I love
Who
how
said
it's like 2 in 1. How
I would like the floor as well. Once I'm able to.
That motion is out of order. Would any other senator like the floor?
I'd like the floor, Mr. President.
Senator Chu is recognized by the chair for a period of 1 minute.
What?
okay, whilst they're doing their thing. So yeah, I mean, Metzdog, you're here. I heard you said something. Was it you who said that it's too close to the in real conflict? If you're going to speak.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Can I
Yes,
speak?
I think
yeah.
regardless of how separate it may be from the real conflict.
Wait a second. Mr. Chu's going to do his whole.
Sorry. Okay, so I just want to say really fast. I understand the inclination towards conflict. I understand we all want a very active USM. I understand the initiative towards all that. Okay? What I think we all need to take a moment here, we just need to take a breath. This has been rushed through very quickly. And we've had basically no time to breathe. I to be honest, over the past few days, I've struggled to keep up with all this. I haven't gotten proper briefings. I haven't gotten intel. We've had no hearings from any officials on this on the Senate floor. So what I would like to more formally before is we just need more time on this. I'm not denying the idea of a conflict. What they did was obviously wrong. We need to review the facts in this case, and we need to examine what actually is right to do. What's the best move? Now, I understand. There's USM in the gallery, and I would also like to state that
pursuant to floor, seeing as 1 minute has elapsed, the senator will cease.
I would like to
Do
just state for everybody to please vote their minds on this
Well,
issue.
the senator will cease. Do any other senators want the floor? The motion to fighter has the floor is out of order.
Can I motion to eject Lucky Vinnick from the Capitol?
You can motion once. Would any other senators like the floor? Seeing as no other senators are requesting the floor, the chair will bring. Is there a motion to vote? Is there a second on the motion to vote? Seeing as there's a motion to vote and a sufficient second, we will vote on the motion to vote on HJ Res 1.
Is this the vote? Anyone? Is this the war vote?
It is the vote.
Okay, FTN
This is
News
the
viewers on
motion to
YouTube.
vote on the war vote.
Here we go.
Yeah, motion to vote. Sorry.
Here we go, FTN News viewers, all two of you on YouTube.
The vote will last for a period of 1 minute.
Okay, now we wait. They are voting on the war.
If you say
We
nay,
shall
you're
see if
doing-
it shall pass.
Okay.
The Senator
okay,
Nasanova is out of
linear,
order.
okay.
Nasanova is out of order. The Sergeant at Arms is expected to compel him to his seat.
We're now waiting. I can see Patriot Bender there, Captain, serving his duty. God, he is a patriot. We await the results. Oliver, the snake isn't. I'm not. I didn't do anything. It wasn't my fault. I got it.
Senators are reminded that this is just the motion to vote on the vote. On the motion to vote on HJ Res 1, the ayes are 5, the nays are 5, the abstains are 1. The motion to vote does not pass. So we will continue debating the matter. Do any senators request the floor? Senator Gorilla, my boy 6, is recognized by the chair for a period of 1 minute.
Okay, he typed, so that's fine. Mets Dog, whilst you're here, I heard you said that this conflict was too close to the in real conflict. Is that true? Is that what you said?
I think that the fact that you're using Israel as a conflict point, considering how rife right now the rhetoric is on both sides against both Jewish people and Palestinians, is a horrible idea and is just bound to create problems that we do not need.
But also,
literally do any other
isn't this
countries.
just a game? Isn't this just a game? Just a bit of
Yes, but
fun?
it is, but other people will not take it that way.
I don't think it has to be that deep. It's going to be that deep if you make it that deep. If you're sat around saying, "Oh, the people dying," then obviously people are going to be thinking, "Oh, well, yeah, maybe we shouldn't." But if you just say, "This is a game. We're just having a bit of fun. There's no harm in it.
No,
We're
I'm
shooting
not saying I don't view it that way. I think other people will probably not view it that way.
Seeing as
So I'm just saying, to be
pursuant to
careful.
Rule 4, seeing 1 minute has elapsed, the senator will cease. Any other senators request the floor? Senator Robert T. Lincoln is recognized by the chair for a period of 1 minute.
Hello.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Look, I just think that we just need more time on this. You know, I haven't had any of the briefing, so I think we just need more time on this before we can make a vote. Thank you.
Do any other senators request the floor? Senator Metzdog is recognized by the chair for a period of 1 minute.
Yusuf is asked for the floor like every fucking time.
He already
I
has
just want to
received the floor.
say that Since acid raps technically cannot vote, I believe that means the motion failed. The vote failed. I yield my time.
The chair reminds the senators that the chair, when it is not the vice president, is able to vote. Do any other senators
All right,
request the
then
floor?
I'll just
Senator
take my
Youssef is recognized for a period of 1 minute.
Okay, whilst gets his heart out, there's a guy who wants to speak on behalf of Israel. Is it Tim? Scott Al Parker. Can someone move Scott Al Parker up? He would like to speak for Israel. Fellow Israeli man.
Hello.
What's your take?
I mean, to be honest, denying the bill to pass through the Senate
Fighter half is
is
recognized by the chair for the remaining period, which is 20 seconds.
preventing the USM to have
Okay,
activity.
very quickly, Scott,
Yeah,
can you give me a
just give
second
him
while I
one
do
say,
this?
he's got 20
Okay, right. So I want to tell you all.
After your DMs.
Want to tell you all that this war is happening. Regardless, we can still deploy the Marine Corps. We will deploy the Marine Corps. I urge you to approve this because there's no reason not to. Those of you asking for more time and more briefings, you never.
Seeing as 1 minute has elapsed, the secretary will cease. Do any other senators request the floor?
Never asked me or my office for any briefings.
Senator Youssef has already been recognized by the floor and thus cannot take it again pursuant to Rule 4. Same with Senator Metzog.
Rachel, wait for them to shut up in a sec.
Senator Metzog is recognized for a period of 45 seconds. Wait, Metz, did you yield to half before?
No, I did not. But I yield
Okay,
to half.
you're the
Also,
one.
I'd like
You're
to
the one.
say-
You're the one who talked for 15 seconds. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right.
Yes, but
Senator
before we
Fighter.
do that, just so you guys know, Timmy killed USM but voted no on this. Half, you can have the rest of my time.
All right,
Thank you,
Senator Secretary Hath is recognized for a period of 40 seconds.
Thank you. So as I was saying, nobody asked my office, me or my office, and my DMs are open to all of you for any briefings or anything about this conflict, and I'm not obligated to give you that if you don't ask. So those of you asking for more time and for complaining about briefings, I hate to tell you this, but that's on you, and it's all over executive updates. DoD has published updates every single day. My press secretary and I are available day and night. That's on you, with respect, of course. This war needs to happen. This war will happen whether you approve or not, but we would like to deploy all of USM instead of just part of it. So please, I am begging you with tears in my eyes, approve this war. It's not political. It's not anything crazy. We just want activity.
Seeing as the
love of
Secretary's time has fully elapsed, he shall cease. To any other senators request the floor. Senator Nasanova is recognized by the chair.
Oh, God.
I'm a parliamentary inquiry into you.
Please state your parliamentary. Please state your parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, the will state that. Hold on, let me go back to it. It will state, in the absence of the Vice President, the Senate shall choose a President pro temp, who shall hold the office and execute the duties thereof during the pleasure of the Senate and until another is elected or his term of office as a senator expires. 2. In the absence of the Vice President and permit the election of the President pro temp, the acting President pro temp or the Secretary of the Senate shall perform the duties of the chair. The rules never state that the President pro temp can appoint someone in his stead to preside over a session.
Pursuant to Rule 1, the Secretary of the Senate can preside over Senate sessions in the absence of the Vice President and the PPT. And pursuant to the rules, the Vice President appoints the Secretary of the Senate.
I'm inquiring on
the Senate has.
on the ability.
The Senator will cease. The Senator will cease.
Give you authorization to preside.
Pursuant. The Senator will cease. The Senator will cease. The Senator will cease. The Senator will cease.
I'm inquiring.
Pursuant to the rules, the Secretary of the Senate is appointed by the Vice President. The Senate received a communication from the Vice President appointing me as Secretary of the Senate. Do any other senators request the floor? Senator Spikers, did Senator Chu speak on this round or the last round before the motion to vote? All right. Senator Chu is recognized by the chair for a period of 1 minute. Senator Nasanova will cease.
So, to keep it real with y'all, this has happened over the span of like 3 days. I've had not enough time to collect my intel. I've not had enough time to request information. This has happened very, very quickly. And look, again, I'm not going to pull things back. I'm not going to completely deny this act of war. Just give us a few more days. We'll get it done. We will get this done. We will get this passed. Just give us a little bit more time. Okay, that's all I'm asking of y'all. Thank you. I'd like to yield the rest of my time.
Do any other senators request the floor?
That needs to be
Senator
in
Youssef
writing.
has
You're not
Senator
Secretary
Youssef
of the
has
Senate.
already
That
been
needs to be in
recognized
writing.
on the floor. Senator Nasanova will cease. Senator Youssef, you've already been given the floor for your allotted time. The senator will cease, please. Please, the senator will cease.
No, this is a parliamentary.
Senator Youssef, you've already been given 1 minute. So pursuant to Rule 4, that is the completed allotted time. Do any other senators request the floor? Is there a motion to vote? The chair recognizes Senator Nasanova for his parliamentary inquiry. Seeing as the senator does not have a parliamentary inquiry, we will be proceeding. This ability is pursuant. I apologize. This ability is pursuant to Rule 17(2)(b). Seeing as there is a motion to vote and a second on the motion to vote, the Senate will proceed on the motion to vote on HJ Res 1.
Fantastic. We're about to head off to John of Doom now, but just before that, the Israeli man, what was you wanting to say whilst they get busy voting? Scott Parker.
Oh, you can do what you want. I was just here to chill. I'll be honest. But what I will say is, denying this bill, you may say, or from the senators, that will give us a couple more days. It's regardless coming from them or what was their name, Joe.
Yeah.
The bill's gonna pass. The war's gonna happen anyway. So there's no need to deny it now.
This war's not happening. I don't know where this got this idea that this war's going to happen, regardless of what the Senate says. It's
Naz,
not.
they'll deploy the Marines either way.
It doesn't mean that this is a declaration of war. If he deploys the Marines, okay, fine. That's not a declaration of war.
No, but I can.
And even then, he
transfer a
only
bunch
has
of
60
people over
days to
to the
do it.
Marines and still
If he
get the
passes
activity
60
I'm looking
days, which
for.
is
And firstly,
7.5.
we wasn't referring to you, Naz. We're referring to Mr. Chu, who said if you give him a few more days, he'll vote aye.
That's all I want to tell you, though, is just, it doesn't matter if it's a declaration of war or not. We're going to move forward with the activity either way. We would just like
For
a declaration
7.5
of war.
days, then you're going to have to work with us.
No.
No?
Marine
Okay.
Corps they don't follow that.
They don't?
The motion to vote on HJ Res 1 passes. The question is on the adoption of HJ Res 1, the authorization for use of military force. The roll will be called.
They now move to vote on the resolution.
The vote will last for a period of 1 minute.
We shall wait. This is the vote, isn't it? Is it the war vote?
I believe it is.
Yeah. We are awaiting the results. We won't speak too soon. Here we go, guys. The results are about to close up, and we're about to see if this war declaration passes. We are awaiting the results.
On this vote, the ayes are 11, the nays are 1. HJ Res 1 is adopted.
That's it. America is at war. I now pass over to John of Doom, who's
Is there a
going to be
motion to
rounding up
adjourn?
today's updates and, of course, talking about this more. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. Good evening. The main news of the evening is that the Senate has just passed a declaration of war. Well, not a declaration of war, but a motion.
Sergeant at Arms is directed to restore order to the chambers.
But a motion to authorize use of force in the Middle East. The vote has passed 11-1.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Seeing as there's a motion to adjourn in a sufficient second, the Senate will move to a vote on the motion to adjourn.
The Senate is voting on the motion to adjourn, which will easily pass. But
the vote will last for a period of 1 minute.
I just want to point out I'm supposed to be on leave of absence, and I had to come fight the Senate and the House to get this pushed through. Going on LOA. God bless.
Just a heads up, I only voted to abstain on the first one because I wanted to troll you for what you said before. So you're welcome.
I love you, Mets. Thank you.
We're just looking at the motion to adjourn.
If it was going to fail, I would have voted yes.
But this is
What did I
essentially
miss?
passing as someone is shooting. Someone is shooting up in the chambers, killing pretty much everyone up in the legislature.
The ayes are 10, the nays are 1. The Senate stands adjourned.
And with that, the Senate has passed a motion to authorize the use of force in the Middle East in regards to recent tensions that personally I don't really know much of since I was busy with midterms and all that fun stuff. You're listening to FTN's continuing coverage of America at War, streaming on radio and on the community news feed. I believe, is there going to be a signing anytime soon? Do we know it? What?
Let's sign it.
Are you doing this in the White House or are you going to do it here?
Let's sign it right now. Let's go to the White House.
Okay, we're going to the White House.
I would firstly like to thank all the senators for this. What was the ending vote? I had to go AFK for a couple minutes.
10 ayes, 1 nay.
10 ayes, 1 nay. Who was
10
nay?
to 1.
Nastanovich.
Nastanova.
Nasanova, I find it very interesting that you're voting no on a war, yet you said death to America while shooting at Americans.
It was 11.
Yeah,
Or do you
unrelated.
claim that to be
As
deepfake?
gunshots ring out from the outside, as someone tries
Unrelated,
to take advantage of the
But
situation.
Nasanova has been DoD blacklisted. Unrelated, though.
Of course, unrelated completely.
Yeah, unrelated.
So
Completely
this
unrelated.
vote,
DoD
this
blacklisted.
this goes. If I'm not mistaken, this will send troops to where exactly?
To Israel for now, but we are looking at other countries that are being attacked.
And the
by these
main
terrorists.
purpose is to fight terrorism. Am I correct?
Yes, there are a growing number of terror cells in the UN that we have to.
How
First
did
person
it
to pay
start? How
Methdog
did
gets
this-
20,000 in-game cash.
How did this start? Like, how did we get to the point
It's-
where? Go ahead.
It started, well, I would like to draw reference to World War One when Franz Ferdinand was shot.
Well, that's
and
when
it
U.S.
began-
involvement started.
I would like to draw reference to the assassination of our Secretary of the Air Force, and of the UK press journalist, and of the bombing as the Secretary of Defense and I were at Israel. there are 3 terrorist organizations who have been working their way into Israel or who have tried.
4, Madam President. 4.
It's been upped. Oh gosh.
It's been up there 4, and Iran is backing all of them. Yes.
Madam President, I'd also like to mention, as she is pretty, I wouldn't say she's super humble, but she's pretty humble. I'd also like to mention the wounding of our dear POTUS during a conflict.
It's
as she did end up
So
getting
do you
shot.
have every confidence in the USM to fully fight these terrorists, as you say?
Oh, full confidence. Full confidence. I've been out there with them. I've seen them. I've seen clips. I've seen montages. These people do not stand a chance. USM number 1.
USM number 1.
Yeah, we've already won a few skirmishes, so.
For those of you just joining
And
us,
I'd also like
Congress,
to
go ahead.
I'd also like to make a special mention to a recent Distinguished Service Cross recipient who was we've already had 1 Distinguished Service Cross be awarded from this conflict, and I'm sure that we're going to end up having 1 or 2 Medals of Honor, as well as several
We already have
Distinguished
1 Medal
Service
of
Crosses.
Honor.
There already is 1 Medal of Honor, like I said. We'll have even more. This is producing a large amount of activity for our military, as well as the rest of NUSA, because I know that once these allying countries and the countries that are not exactly for us once they hear about this, they will most definitely be rallying to join NUSM and NUSA in general.
I just want to say, first person in game to ping me, Metsdog, in the NUSA general chat will get 20,000 in-game cash.
I will double this.
All right,
I have
Div Extra wins.
57,336 DC cash, willing to be given away.
Did Dev win it or did I win it? I can't tell.
Dev won.
Fuck. Sorry.
This is my first time in the White House with the Halloween decorations. I have to say, this is nice. Okay, let me just go to scene 2. Camera coming through. Camera in the middle, has to be in the middle.
Damn, already gunshots ringing out outside the White House.
We're at war. What can I say?
Let me be in the middle. I have to film this. God.
Thank you, Politico, for handing me HJ Res 1. Let me just look this over real quick. The authorization for use of military force.
You get $10,000 if you sign it now.
Thank you for giving me a pen. Let me look here. I will take this pen. And I will sign HJ Res 1. And we are officially at war with terrorism. Congratulations, America. We are number 1. Let's go.
America is at war with terrorists. The war on terrorism has begun. That is the main headline coming out of the White House tonight after Congress passed an authorization of force in the Middle East. Forces will be deployed to Israel to fight terrorist cells that operate within the area. Do we have someone from the Defense Department on?
You have the SecDef right here.
Okay, so now that you have the authorization of war passed, how soon can you deploy troops?
Well, we've already been deploying troops beforehand, but now we have the authorization to keep them there, so we'll be expanding UN peacekeeping operations in the NATO coalition to include other branches aside from the Marine Corps. The Army will be deploying the 101st Airborne. Air Force will be deploying their Air Force Security Forces alongside the 15th Fighter Wing, or 15th Air Force, my bad. The Navy will be deploying ESG-2 and their Naval Special Warfare Group. We've actually already deployed some special forces in the area. They will continue their operations. All of these forces will be under the command of the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, which is General Sightfalls. And we have our NATO allies joining our coalition pretty regularly, so we should see more on that. We're also deploying assets from the CIA, DIA, and NSA. And the DFPA will be going overseas to provide policing action alongside the U.S. Coast Guard. Coast Guard will also be deploying raid teams, too.
Very interesting stuff. Do you expect there to be a massive spike in recruitment as a result of this effort?
I hope so, but to be honest, we're fine. We're the largest military in the UN, and we can beat anybody, anytime, any place.
Speaking of, support for this live stream comes from the United States Air Force. Are you ready to take your future to new heights? The U.S. Air Force offers an exciting and rewarding career that goes beyond the ordinary. You'll find a path to personal and professional growth while serving your country with honor. Learn more by DMing someone at the Air Force. Gotta love my ad reads. I'm getting paid nothing for this. We are just looking at the scenes from the White House at the moment. It is what I assume to be a party atmosphere. Is there anyone else who wants to speak? Because I'm tabbed out. I'm just filming inside the place, so I don't really have any control over who gets to be on.
John, this just in. A senator of the United States just attempted to assassinate the president of the United States in the White House.
Was it Nasanova?
This is true. It was Gorilla My Boy 6.
Oh, DOD actually has evidence on him trying to fire at U.S. troops.
He actually killed a U.S. troop.
Yep.
Oh, we also have proof of him breaking into a house session 5 times despite being ejected from the floor. If Arthur would like to help contribute to that investigation, should one be initiated.
Absolutely. Yep.
Beautiful.
Senator Nasanova. Senator Nasanova kept protesting on the House floor in the middle of debate by shouting scam war and no war without joint session over and over. The House.
And he got arrested 5 times.
I'm being told
by
to mention,
Bender,
if you
is a
are
savior
interested
of the
in
House.
joining the Air Force, Planet Plane should be DM'd.
No Army beat Navy. DM any member of the Army.
Well, you weren't the
Or
one that
DM
paid
myself.
for the ad read.
The House will be considering contempt of Congress against Senator Nasanova for continually disrupting the proceedings.
But also do it to Gorilla, my boy, while you're at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Would you like the that clip of him shooting at the president, Arthur?
I would.
Please send it to the Senate also.
I got you. I'll send it to both of you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Is
And if
President
Trade
still here?
NATO is in this call, he will receive this footage also.
Wow, there is a continued party going on in the White House. The the Service Secretary thanking Atlas Accord, thanking the President. Lots of thank yous going on.
You know, while we're here, I would also like to do one more thing. I would like to recognize an extremely, extremely heroic and important individual, which is Sergeant Major, your local patriot.
No!
What? And I would like to do something that I haven't done at all this term, and that is rewarding the Medal of Honor. I would like to give your local patriot the Medal of Honor for the citation that I'll read out below. At Erez Crossing during the assault on Sunday, October 20th, 2024, Army Sergeant Major, your local patriot, held down the right flank alongside members of the Marine Corps Force reconnaissance. When a truck full of insurgents blew past the Marines, deployed forward in the field, the Sergeant Major leapt into action and began engaging the truck. He killed the driver almost immediately, sending the truck crashing into a border wall at Erez. When the other insurgents jumped off the truck and began attempting to climb the border wall to encircle U.S. forces and jeopardize the coalition's advantage, the sergeant major opened fire and killed 3 more. He then moved from his position to clear out the last of the insurgents, who were by now firing upon a U.S. Marine Corps fire team under the command of General Igor Killicam. Through his act of courage, skill, and bravery, Sergeant Major Your Local Patriot single-handedly prevented U.S. forces from being encircled and cut off from reinforcements. His fighting spirit exemplifies the values of the United States Army and the dedication of its bravest soldiers. I would also just like to clarify here that this was almost us losing the border. If Your Local Patriot was not there at that time to stop the truck, we would have lost the border in that moment. But he had saved us, he had saved the border, and he saved his fellow troops. And that is extremely well-deserving of the Medal of Honor. So I would like to give that to you today.
I would like to recommend that you give Fighter Half the Medal of Freedom at some point.
I would like to
second that.
decline it. I already have the Medal of Honor. I'm good.
Nah, she got the Medal of Freedom also.
We're both having a heavy ass neck.
And quickly, I just got a DM, and I want to clarify this. The medal is informally called the Congressional Medal of Honor, but it is presented on behalf of Congress by the President. The Congress does not actually vote on the Medal of Honor, contrary to how NUSA has done in the past. That is not actually how that works.
Hey, is it legal to put a bounty on someone?
Someone just
in
car
stage?
bombed the White House.
Many such cases.
Okay, I'd like to put a $20,000 in-game cash bounty on Benda 587.
Was that the person who bombed us to oblivion?
No, it starts now.
No, he's Capitol Police.
Benda is at the Oval Office, by the way.
Very quiet here at the memorial spawn.
We did good work today. I'm very proud. I want to thank Secretary of Defense Firehath once again for his continued leadership over the military and for his years of service to NUSA. I think if it wasn't for his words of wisdom both before the House and the Senate, this resolution could have ended up a lot differently. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge him once again for his service to our country and for his efforts tonight here to ensure that this resolution passed and that the United States military could engage the terrorists in Israel.
Is the president still with us?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. I'm really bad at multitasking.
So am I.
Specifically typing and talking.
So am I. So am I. I've done multiple things where I was typing an essay and helping someone in the office. I feel your pain there. But anyway, the minority party raised concerns that this war was done in an effort to boost your re-election chances. What do you have to say about that?
I have to say that I do not time when people attack America or when they attack our allies. And honestly, at the beginning, I was hesitant on sending in forces, and you can ask people in the defense staff, because I didn't want the chance to destabilize our country when we are going through an election period. But it became increasingly clear that this was truly not an option. I mean, beyond them attacking our allies, they immediately attacked us. It was a personal attack on our military, on our civilians, and on our nation as a whole. So to think that we had an option in this situation is just, it's insane. There was no option, and I implore you to look at the footage and the pictures that we've shared. This is a brutal attack. This is a terrorist organization, and we, as America, will always commit to taking down terrorism. So that's what we have to do.
And I want to announce that in conjunction with the White House and the Defense Department, I'll be introducing another bill shortly to establish the URA's crossing military tribunals and to ensure that war criminals are charged and tried by military courts for their actions in attacking and slaughtering U.S. and Israeli forces.
Yeah, military courts are coming back. We have all that established now. The UCMJ is ready to go.
Jonathan,
Should have
military
some more
court
on that in the
judge.
coming days.
Tribunal for a separate situation.
John of Doom for military court judge or vice president, whichever one is preferred. Let's see if I can get the stream up since I'm no longer in the White House. I see the party is still going on. Why don't we take a couple of calls? The lines are open 1-800-228-WFTN. Let's go to Planet Talks playing. You're live.
Hello.
Hello. You are a member of the USM, is that correct?
Yes, I am the commander of the Air Education Training Command, yes.
So obviously you might have been in support of the war, is that correct?
Yes, we support the war in the Air Force.
You have anything to say?
What?
You have anything you'd like to comment on?
No. I didn't know why I had my hand raised.
Okay. That's understandable. I'll just bring you down then. Thank you very much for your time.
Mets, you're the one that wanted the that video, correct?
Yes.
I gotcha.
Alice Accord is being brought up.
Hello, John. Thank you for loading up. I think overall, this is a good thing. I'll be honest. I was there when it all started. Both myself and Hath were among the first injured. We actually both got the Medal of Valor from Israel, which is their highest medal, basically their version of the Medal of Honor. For our injuries, for being there on a patrol, for doing our meetings with them and all that, and being injured.
Anything else to say? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
I think, yeah, we can hear you. I just think he's done speaking.
Yeah.
There are shots fired outside the White House, as usual.
Okay, bringing up, there are quite a lot of people in there speaking.
Shit. How much do you want to bet that's Taco shooting everyone?
Probably is. I think it's
Nobody claimed the Ben the Bounty, by the way.
I was going to. You walked in the Oval Office. I think it's going to be good for news as a whole because it's going to bring some much needed activity to news as a whole. It's going to bring more people in. It's going to get us on a, I don't want to say on a higher stage in the UN, but it's going to put us on a level where we're actually known for, I don't want to say having war, but having activity and doing events with other groups. It's going to make it to where we're at the top tier of the active side, where we're actually getting people to come in and do events and all that. That makes sense.
That all?
Yes. One more comment. Because I would just like to point out. Similar to how someone had said at the very start. I believe it was Hath who had mentioned that the one member who made it was, someone who, was seen saying "Death to America," was seen in the in the gear that the BNNA wears. Similar with one of the members who voted aye. He has openly said that if it was politically influenced, he would have voted no. But because he thinks that it's good for USM and NUSA, he voted yes. He is on record shooting American troops. he is in a recording shooting American troops. I think even with his vote eyeing this and helping it pass, I think we need to take a look into not USM. Obviously, there's going to be people in USM who do stuff that's not going to be good, and they will be handled correctly. I think it's also we need to take a look at all the evidence that comes in, USM or not, and verify where everyone is coming from. Especially, like I said, with the two members in Congress who have openly either committed hostilities or have openly expressed ill wishes towards Nusa. But that's the last comment I have to say.
Thank you for that. Bella and Grunt Crest, they're both requesting to speak. I'm going to bring a couple of people down. We're about to conclude, so.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Thanks. I'll keep it short and sweet. This is Sergeant Major Psych +1. On behalf of the Marines, we'd like to say how much we appreciate the tireless effort of our Secretary of Defense. His advocacy for the military and work to rebuild the military alongside the president goes so far for people like myself. And we've created something very special here, and it's thanks to people like Hath who have protected it and kept it sacred over the last 12 years. And Hath is also my personal mentor. Before he made SecDef, he was the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, and taught me everything I know. And now I get to teach future Marines as well, thanks to him. So that's it.
Wow, thank you very much for that. Anything else?
No.
All right, thank you very much for that. Let's go to Brief Tactical. As Baxa has their hand down now. So, Brief Tactical, you're live.
Okay, so hello, I'm the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I would like to put some words on behalf of Fighter Hath. He has also been helping me a lot. He has been mentoring me a lot, and he's been constantly answering questions that I've been asking him. And he's just genuinely been like extremely good help. He's been a key factor in reviving USM. He's just being a mentor to everybody, and I think that's very good of him. That's all I have.
Shouting out people now. Thank you very much for that. Anyone else want to speak? Well, if that's what's happening, then the panel already here can have the final word. Who would like to go first?
I'll be happy to go first.
Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to thank the American public for coming. I noticed that there's 23 people in the audience right now. I believe there was closer to 50 once we started. This has been a very eye-opening opportunity to see who the true patriots of the country are and who the traitors are. And I believe this war is going to be a great economic opportunity, and I believe it's going to be a great opportunity in general for America. And finally, I'd like to congratulate your local patriot on the Medal of Honor, as it's well-deserved. I've worked with him for, I want to say, close to 3 years now. And yeah, that's it. Appreciate it. And thank you for allowing me to be on this panel as well.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Saying none. Once again, I do want to reiterate tonight's sponsor, the United States Air Force, who wants to remind you that if you're ready to take your future to new heights and join the U.S. Air Force, who are offering an exciting and rewarding career that goes beyond the ordinary. Here, you'll find a path to a personal and professional growth while serving your country with honor. Learn more by DMing Planet Plane or visiting your local recruiting offices. I would like to thank everyone for joining us for FTN special coverage. Oliver James for starting us off. Jake was also here, the president, and the all-star panel, and for you for being here. We will be back. I do not know when, but we will be back soon. Thanks for joining us for tonight's special coverage. I'm John Azum, FTN News, New York. Well, Washington. Have a great night. Bye-bye. And thank you for joining us here on the FTN News radio feed. Have a great night. Bye bye.